Hello, everyone. My name is Akal, and I'm a somatic therapist as well as someone who works with men. I work with men on many, many, many issues surrounding one's sexuality, sexual expression, and mostly I like to help men connect and understand sexual energy. Sexual energy is a basic root energy. It's the foundation from which the home is built upon. So this foundational energy, we're not we're not taught how to understand it. We're not taught how to how to work with it. And for a lot of young men who are watching this video, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. Where did you learn how to make love? No, you didn't. You probably watch porn. And what does porn tell you how to make love? Well, it tells you that you have to, pull out before you ejaculate so you can blow it on her face. Sorry to be blunt. It's true. Do you think she likes that? Do you think that's what she's into? Uh, I don't know. Maybe. Again, the idea here has to do with choice. It has to do with open communication and authenticity. And in this video, like I said, what I'm going to go into is I'm going to talk a little bit about relationship. So it's not only a relationship in terms of like other people, and it's not in terms of relationship with like your sexual partners. It's that, yes. But what I'm also talking about is relationship to oneself. So I'll start with that first. So what happens when you're making inauthentic choices with your sexual energy? And when I say inauthentic, I mean you're not paying attention to anything deeper. You're simply operating on impulse. You've practiced no discipline. You've not learned how to apply choice yet. Again, I've been there. I don't know a single guy who hasn't been there. So I'm not saying this and kind of you should feel guilty or shameful or anything. Yeah, we all do this. We all started masturbating probably like 13, 14, maybe 15. And it's been on autopilot ever since. Lots of side effects of that kind of behavior. So in terms of relationship to oneself, what ends up getting distorted is when we're constantly discharging our sexual energy is we become less and less and less connected to what I would call the divine masculine. The divine masculine is the, how do I say this? It's the sort of automatic action that happens in life. It's how we act, how we express out into the world. The divine feminine would be the receptive aspect, how we yield and how we start to feel and sense. And most of us are out of balance in one way or another. But again, as men, we have a dominance of this divine masculine energy, but yet we don't work with it. So we end up draining ourselves. So I would say about half to 3/4 of the men that I work with tell me this: I feel like less of a man. I feel disconnected from my masculinity. But I'm horny all the time. So they're ejaculating all the time. In other words, they don't really know how to deal with that pressure, that sort of pressure that horny is. So what are the side effects of this kind of pattern if done over years? Numbness, insensitivity, I guess mentally becoming very, very fixated on sexuality, on sex in general, or being totally disinterested. Now, the mental part of it is really interesting to me. Think about kink. Think about fantasy. These are mental sexual impulses. But what are they disconnected from? They're disconnected from the body. They're disconnected from the heart. They're disconnected from sensing. Instead, thought rises, act out. And I know a lot of you men out there who are watching this, you will defend your kink as your lifestyle. That's fine. But I ask you, understand it. Observe it. Where do you feel that lifestyle choice in your body? Not only where do you feel that lifestyle choice in your body, but do you feel like that there's an underlining message here? Now let me explain this real quick. This is really the mental emotional aspect of how these things are expressed, how kink is expressed, how fantasies are expressed. So let's say you have some sort of emotional baggage, which we all do, some sort of emotional baggage. And because men, our primary driver in life is sexual energy. So what can happen, I'm not saying this is true in all cases, but what can happen, let's say this emotional baggage is resonating inside the body. It will then circulate through your awareness, but it won't come out in like a very, very clear kind of slap you upside the head kind of way. Sometimes it can if you're in meditation or something. Often it might materialize as a fantasy. I'll use cuckolding as a good example. Those of you who are into watching, your sexual partners, let's say your wife, your girlfriend, or something like that, have sex with another dude. Again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, hey, this is a good example of what I might mean. So let's say one of your previous relationships, your girlfriend cheated on you, your wife cheated on you. Then what ends up happening is that you got angry, you felt traumatized, you felt victimized, but you're too busy. You're too busy to really, truly acknowledge it. So instead, you just get fueled by anger. You get a divorce, you break up with her, whatever it may be. Did you truly process on a deep level how that affected you? Maybe, maybe not. So what might be happening is if you're having these cuckolding fantasies is that, again, primary driver, base energy, trauma of the heart. I was betrayed, I was victimized. This base energy percolates up through and it brings impressions with it. And those impressions say, I want to watch my girlfriend or wife have sex with another dude. And it's kind of like a sexual coping mechanism. Is this healthy for you? That's up to you to determine. I would probably say in many cases it is not. Because what does it feel like when you watch your wife have sex with another dude? Conflicted. Jealousy, possessiveness, all mixed in with like this really intense eroticism. It could be quite confusing perhaps. So anyway, you can basically apply that idea to many different kinky things. But what ultimately it's expressing is that you're disconnected from you. What is horny truly? Horny truly is a signal from deep within, from your body saying, hey you, in my case a call, hey a call, connect to the body. Go into feeling, go into sensing. So that's how you can basically cure yourself of these issues, is allow the thoughts to rise, allow the feelings to rise, and then connect to where am I feeling that in my body. And just do this. This is a repeated pattern. Do this all the time. Be objective, be present, allow. So now the second part of relationship will go from relating to oneself to relating to others. The younger men who are watching this, this is probably really important in my opinion. The conditioning that we've all received through external authorities, which in this case would be like pornography would be an external authority. How do we make love? Like most men, we don't even know how to approach our partners. Gay, straight, it doesn't matter what it is. We don't know how to create profound sexual experiences for ourselves and for others. So who suffers? We suffer because I don't know a single dude who doesn't want to be a good lover. Because when you are a good lover, I mean, have your partner say, you're the best sex I've ever had. Woo! You feel like a god. You feel like a king, like you got a crown on your head all of a sudden. It's an amazing feeling. But if you have no confidence, right? Because like if you don't understand how to do something, you're not going to have a lot of confidence doing it. So the approach is incredibly important. I mean, here's a real basic tip. Take your time. Instead of just jumping in the sex, why not give her a massage for half an hour first? It's super basic. Very basic. And that's it. I guarantee you're going to have a better experience. She's going to have a better experience, or he. So again, keep in mind the importance of this. Now, if you're in a marriage, if you're in a long-term relationship, Consider your masturbation practices. How is that changing the dynamic of your relationship? Do you still desire the woman or the man you're with? Maybe, maybe not. You got to consider these things. If you're discharging energy all the time, two things happen. One, you're depleting the reward system in the brain, which means decreased desire. But the other thing that's interesting is that men are kind of biologically programmed to spread the seed around. So you're going to start to develop a wandering eye. She or he is not going to like this. So what do? Give yourself the opportunity to make a choice. Give yourself the opportunity to express this energy authentically. And how you do this, create a pause. Abstain from ejaculation. Give yourself 40 days. Like I've said in all the other videos I've done before this, give yourself 40 days of abstinence that'll allow you to have a contrast between, again, the contrast is I feel sexual energy and I'm very present with it and I'm very authentic with it and I'm making choices versus autopilot. I think the answer, which one is better, is pretty clear once you make this choice. So with that said, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Appreciate you watching. Thank you.